Mostly what you have out there are primary producers, the ones that till the land, over 90%, big chunk. So when you talk about agribusinesses, agriculture, it's mostly farmers that are producing. You have a bit of processors, but a small chunk, and a bit more, a bit of what you call service providers that are mostly what I say provide linkages, or people, you can also call them middlemen. So, but yeah, by and large, primary production. And of course, not incidentally, based on this data, most of the revenue comes from crops, be it food crops or cash crops. So within the sector, just based on this data. And what are the crops? Maize, rice, and beans. And just to let you know also, about half of this is, particularly for maize, about half is actually consumed within their household. So this just represents perhaps the income, what they've sold. So it's typically about half, or probably less than half, of what they produce. Yeah. So the cash crops, tobacco, cotton, cashew, coffee. Tobacco, by and large, has been the most profitable crop in Tanzania for a long time. Sold and marketed in dollars. So farmers have been getting lots and lots. Tabora, that's part of Western Tanzania. It's really taking people out of poverty. I mean, it's big time. So it's by far the biggest, but it's limited by, these are all limited by geographical locations based on the soil, altitude, and all that. So now, as far as the service providers, mostly traders, like I said, they buy and sell agricultural products and mostly crops. So some people call them middlemen. They really, I like to say that they're market linkers. So they actually play a critical role getting things from the farm all the way to Dar es Salaam market. They are the ones that play all these parts. They are an important part, and I think if we can make them more efficient as well, this will help even these guys in their producing and getting better prices. This also presents an opportunity. So inside is falling. So as far as some of the challenges, infrastructure is by far the largest. Infrastructure is the largest. I have to wait for these guys, so let's just bear with me. Infrastructure is the main challenge, but within that there's an opportunity. Mobile, as you can see, this is really shooting above electricity, roads, and rail. So this is an opportunity area. As you can see, lots people are having insights. What these people have access to mobile where they don't have access to this. But always keep in mind also, mobile may be large, but they also still need electricity to charge. Yeah, so it still has they're linked. As far as financial services now, so why not uptake? Is access to information is on financial services. So knowing and trusting is still an issue within rural areas in agriculture. What are they taking? Loans, about 1 in 3. As you can see, the red line is mostly informal, from family and friends, not from institutions. Institutions are a lot less. You can't compare to family and friends. So mostly borrowing from friends and family. Where do they actually, the services that the other product is savings. Savings big time, but within informally within groups. So a lot of savings done within groups, not within financial institutions. And insurance, as far as the risk and coping strategies, no formal financial insurance in place. They do have risks, as you can see, nothing in place. And the main cause of the risk is rain, or you can say the other way, lack of irrigation facilitation. So this is the main cause of their vulnerabilities. And as far as land goes, access to land is not an issue. Access to title deeds is the issue, particularly from on the bank's perspective. But 90% of producers have claimed land ownership. It's how that is documented has become the barrier for financial services. So that was a quick walkthrough on the sector, its challenges, and the use of financial services. And then any comments, insights, questions?
And out of this, and what I understand, this middlemen actually the ones who benefit mostly the farmers.
And
because actually buy normally at lower price and they go selling very high price.
I think
are they not considered as a part of the agriculture?
Yeah, the service providers. To me personally, they play a very critical role. I mean, I've been ag for a long time, and the what do you call it? The political speak is always that middlemen are bad. Actually, they play a critical role. Middlemen, you take your 2 kilos and take your 2 kilos and your 2 kilos. Now they can get 15 kilos and take to this market on their bicycle 3 hours away. Whereas you're not going to take your 2 kilos to the market yourself. So they aggregate things. Aggregation is a big challenge. We don't have infrastructure. So the fact that we don't have infrastructure, ways of efficient marketing is a big challenge. So that's why even prices, don't focus so much on price. The ability to realize that price is a lot based on, can you get the goods to market? Are they the kind of goods that are required? These middlemen play that role. So they play a critical role. Without middlemen, actually, the farmers, I would tell you, are probably 60-70% of the farmers would not be able to sell anything. So it may seem they may get a price difference, yes, but who has done a study to say what's their cost of fuel, how much time do they spend on the road, how much they do, and they're actually part of the community. So middlemen oftentimes can be people from that village, or people related to that village. So that's a common speak, but I think it's misguided. If you want to help the farmer, build infrastructure. If you want to help the farmer, make the middlemen more efficient so that they can get, if you want to help the farmer, make this whole system more efficient, not criticize, attack the middlemen. Because now cooperatives are also middlemen, so that's what is done in Tanzania. Then the cooperatives want to do that job. It's us, not these other guys. But you know what happens now? Cooperatives steal money. They get bankrupt. They don't pay the farmers for their goods. Now, that's just another side of the scandal. Someone promises you a good price, but he doesn't pay you. The other one pays you, but gives you a lower price. Which one is better?
The one who pays.
So that's what middlemen do. So yeah.
So do we have a study on the middlemen so that we can identify what areas to strengthen?
I think this is there's no study per se. It's an informal role, and it's usually informally done by the guy with a pickup truck. You know, when he goes to town, he'll buy and from you guys and goes and sells in town. It's informal, so it's not. And I would tell you, most middlemen probably do 2 or 3 other businesses.